This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look. Hello, welcome to episode 133 of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda. In this episode, I will update you on my knitting and crochet antics of the last 2 weeks, as is my wont. And then we are straight into the Layercake section where I am introducing the new Popover Shirt. But first, knitting and crochet. As I hoped, I have a couple of finished objects to show you, although not necessarily the ones that I anticipated. I'll start with the homespun beanie made using the yarn that I spun from the Valois Blackface sheep. The first clip of two little girls, two young Valois Blackface sheep that were sheared in, I think it was the autumn of 2023. And I picked up those fleeces in November of that year. It's taken me a long time after cleaning and skirting the fleeces to finally start spinning the yarn. And this was the first effort of spinning after a long time. And I think I've overspun it. I think I can probably get rid of guard hairs that are in the fleeces. So a lot of work still until I get it right. But at least I've got a wearable first piece made out of my first spun yarn. I have, as I told last time, I have held it together with a lovely soft, I think it's probably an alpaca. It's a little bit like cumulus, fiber space cumulus with a silk core, and I think then it's got an alpaca floof, fluffy outside of that silk core, and that held together with the hand spun makes for the equivalent of just about an Aran weight yarn. So I have knitted a beanie that is in a 2x2 rib, so it will fit pretty much anyone and everyone. And if it's it'll fit a really large head or a smaller head, potentially with a fold over to make it not come down too far. But it's definitely a wearable garment, and that at some point, hopefully with a couple of other pieces, will make its way back up to the Scottish borders to the owner of the little sheep, so that they have some items made out of the first clip of their lovely little Valois Blackface sheep. The picture is to just remind you of what those sheep look like, with the beautiful tight curls, a lot of crib in their fleece, but I think it's mainly the guard hairs that have the crib. So I'm going to try and separate and try and find the softest parts of the fleece and spin that to see if I can get a slightly finer yarn. So that's my first finished object. The second one was a pair of socks that I had finished quite a while ago. It's these, and I had knitted them long to fit my husband, and initially I had started knitting them to make for myself, and then halfway through I thought, oh, I'll just make them for him, so I made them longer. But it turns out that a 60 stitch sock, 60 stitches in the round on 2¼ millimeter needles on standard sock yarn, which runs about 400 meters per 100 grams, ends up making a sock, even with a heel flap and turn, makes a sock that is slightly too tight in this part of the sock for my husband to, with his big feet, to wear comfortably. So I need to go to 64 stitches for him, and socks that have a 60 stitch count are perfect for me, but of course they have to be slightly shorter in order to fit me. So it reminds me a little bit of Delft blue, the tiles, the colors that are in Delft blue tiles, these socks. So I love it. I've knitted them quite a while ago, I think already. I don't know whether he just didn't get around to wearing them, but he only reported back on them very recently, and they look unworn. Maybe he's worn them once because he wanted to try, but it's just too much of effort to try and get them over his heels. They were made out of a sock blank that I got years ago. So yeah, another pair of socks for me, and they're lovely. So I love the colors, and done. Now, next finished object is something that I hadn't even started last time. It's another one of my little crochet scarves. The mania of crochet scarves continues. So it's that same shape again. It's a triangle, but then elongated, and then you get this shape. I used up some yarn that was left over from a pair of socks. So this is sock yarn with a bit of sparkle in it in the center, multicolored sock yarn. Don't even know anymore where I got it from. And I've given it an edging in also a leftover of my Yak Blend 2 in the Midnight colorway. Of course, I haven't got that yarn anymore because my dyer disappeared in a puff of smoke. So that's another little finished object. I can wear it in my hair and or around my neck like I had draped on the mannequin, but another finished one. I'm making another one, so I'll move on to my works in progress now. I'm making another one that I may have told you about already last time, I don't remember. This is a ball of yarn this is leftovers. I think it's still more than 50 grams in weight, that I knitted a pair of socks of that I've shown you before. It's the Biches Bûches sock yarn in this red and white barber pole yarn. It's lovely, but it's just very, very thin. I still haven't weighed it because I've got a little machine that can work out what the meterage is because it says that it's 400 meters per 100 grams, but really behaves like a lace weight. So more about that later if I ever get around to weighing it. And I'm making another one of my little triangles. Here it is. There's the center of it. I'm nearly done. It's like two or three more rows back and forth, all still going in that same Suzette stitch that I love so much. So this is another core, and then I'm probably going to put an edging around it again like I did with this one. Similar size, similar width, and probably in a leftover of that raspberry red yarn that I've been using for the heels and toes of the socks that I knitted with this, as well as the ends of the sleeve of my yellow striped jumper that you can see in earlier episodes. So that's another little scarfie. I'm working towards a recipe that I think is a great standard recipe. That's what I've been trying to do here, that I can then finally write up into a pattern so that I have, because each and every one is ever so slightly different, starting with a different total number of chain stitches, etc. So I'm trying to work through those different formats in order to end up with a size that works for a pattern. So hopefully this is now the one and the pattern will be coming. It's a lovely, easy project to work on. So that's a work in progress. Second work in progress here to my left, still not finished. I've been having the hardest time trying to decide what to do in terms of closure. I finally got there. I ordered this beautiful set, like metal closure that really reminds of the Norwegian way of closing these cardigans. I think it's called a kofta, like a jacket in this kind of shape and with those metal closures. But putting the closures on top, I'll show you a photograph of it here. It looks great, but it ends up creating a look that I'm just not into that look. I don't want it to look that way. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just somehow not for me. So the closures are going back to Maggie from Textile Garden, and I have finally decided what I'm going to do. I think I like a closure that I can't see at all best. I don't want buttons sticking out. I don't want to make buttonholes. So I'm going to get poppers, uh, either poppers or magnets. I'm not sure, but probably poppers. You can get these really nice fabric covered poppers that are quite big. That's what I'm going to put on. And I've just put the two sides over the top of each other, just about far enough to put a popper underneath, like just uh, on the two halves, obviously, but without a big overlap of the jacket, which is another thing that I wanted to achieve. So poppers is it is. And then finally, I think I already talked about that as well. Of course, I can close it all the way, but I also want to wear it without it completely closed. And I did not like it if I saw the inside of specifically the collar. I did not like that. So since I am going to have, of course, let me see if I can undo this. Oh yeah, here we are. Because of course I'm going to have, I'm in the process already of putting this ribbon on to cover my steek, the raw edges of my steek. I have chosen a very similar colored linen from my linen collection from Layercake, of course. This is the ochre herringbone that I have cut in the right shape for the inside of the collar. I'm not going to add any other facings. It's just going to be the collar that I'm covering. Also, of course, means that I never feel the wool right into my neck, which I like the idea of as well. And I don't mind if you then see a little bit of inside here, but at least the main collar is closed. Oh, if I wear it open, it'll be more like this anyway. So I'm very happy now with that solution. It's just a matter of sourcing the hoppers that I can attach, finish sewing down this edge of the ribbon, and then hand sewing the collar in. I've already pressed it, so it's just a matter of small stitches to keep it in place, tack it down, and then finally that cardigan is finished. And then my last work in progress, I already told you about that last time, but I have a little bit more to show for it this time, is this is an old little linen cardigan that I've had for a long time and that I really like the proportions of. It's kind of short and boxy, but not oversized on me. I love wearing it, and I came up with the idea of reknitting it. I didn't knit this myself. This is store-bought and extremely fine linen knit. I want to knit a very similar shape and size in two very fine cashmere yarns that I'm holding together. One is a one-ply yarn from Art Yarns that is not actually available in the UK, but I sourced some on eBay a long time ago in a beautiful dark, very dark chocolate color. And this is a single ply, and it is beautiful cashmere. I think it's the same thickness that is used in the two-ply ombre cashmere yarn from Art Yarns that Millie at Tribe Yarns sells. So this is like one strand of that two-ply. It looks very similar to that anyway. So I'm holding that together with, again, a very fine cashmere yarn that is a two-ply. It's thinner than this even. I think this is about 1,200 meters, 1,300 meters per 100 grams. This is 1,500 meters per 100 grams. So I'm holding both of those together. And this is a yarn that is on a cone because it's actually made to be used on a knitting machine because, of course, it's so thin. So it probably has some machine oil in it. It is not quite as soft straight off the cone as, of course, this is. But knitting it together, I get first of all, I get a beautiful color. I love the color. This is like a bluish purple. and then that together with the dark chocolate brown. So I'm getting this gorgeous blend. And this is the back panel completely done. As you can see, I've got a 1x1 rib for about 4 centimeters, and then there's a bit of a slope on the shoulders. I'm just following exactly the same shape that the cardigan has, and it's got a V line in the back. The original has got a little open heart, which I didn't knit in yet. If I decide that I still want that, I'll just drop these stitches down and reknit them with the little heart in. But I came up with the idea of potentially embroidering the heart on in just that purple color, so it'll stand out a little bit more, look a little bit different than just the little holes. And I quite like the idea of playing with that color. And talking about playing with that color, I might end up doing that in the front as well. I was considering whether or not to put pockets in, and I'm leaning towards doing that. And the main reason for that is that, of course, playing with these colors means that I could, for example, make part of the pocket in just one color and have the rest in the combined color. So that's something that I'm thinking about. But most importantly, I think I'm just about at the point with my first front panel of having to decide whether I want pockets or not. And I had not really appreciated that I'm just about at that point. This is where I need to decide pockets or no pockets. And something like that, the fact that I'm showing that to you now and holding it up and thinking, oh my gosh, that's just at the pocket level, that's enough of a fortuitous event for me to decide, well, actually, there's a reason that I got to this point and now I'm holding it up. I clearly need to do pockets. Crazy, but that's how I tick. So pockets it is. And with that idea of putting a little purple heart on the back, I can also make part of the pocket, the inside pocket, purple. So if this is my main panel at the moment, all in that same color, I knit that main panel to here. I cast off a bunch of stitches. I then knit that same width, which will be the inside of my pocket in this color alone, held double, of course. Get to the same point, and then the stitches that I've cast off here will be replaced by these stitches, and then I can knit the rest of my front panel. That's how, in terms of construction, I'll do it. So this is all one panel. Then the purple comes up from behind, and then the panel just progresses with the double color. And then I'll have these little bits of purple that end up being just an extra point of interest, apart from the fact that it's got the pockets. So it does a little bit more than just a relatively useless tiny little pocket. It actually creates some visual interest as well. The other thing, the final thing about these pockets is that just that lining, if you want, for want of a better word, that back panel of this pocket is knit the other way around, reverse stockinette. So the whole cardigan is a rib or a purl on the inside, except for this little pocket that's been put on, where this side is the knit side, and that, the bit that's visible, is the purl side. I quite like that idea, because then I don't just have a difference in color, but I have a difference in texture, and I quite like that idea. It really looks like a form of lining then. So that's the plan at the moment. I have made virtually no progress with this for the last 4 days or so, because as I said before, I'm using this as TV knitting, but because it is these two fine yarns held together, I need to look down regularly to make sure that I don't drop one of my yarns by mistake. Make sure that I catch both yarns, because of course they're not twisted in any way. And because they're so fine, it's quite difficult to feel both of them if you're not looking at your knitting. So I need to look down more than average with this. compared to, for example, a pair of socks where I don't need to look at all. And I'm watching a series on TV that was recommended to us by one of our sons on Netflix called Arcane. And it is animation. I am a sucker for animation. I love animation, not all animation, I must say. I've watched a number of anime series with same said son before he moved up to Edinburgh for his master's degree. And we really enjoy watching anime series together. But it's a bit of a, well, it's a, not everybody likes it. A bit of a Marmite type of TV watching anime series. It's a bit of a love it or hate it thing. I love it because it communicates especially emotions very differently from what you have in traditional filmmaking. Now, this series Arcane is not anime, but it is an animation series that was based on a computer game. I think the computer game's called League of Legends. I don't play computer games, my sons do. But this animation series is so incredibly beautifully made, and we have a big TV with a very high definition screen. So the rendition of this particular program on our TV is just breathtaking. In fact, so much so that I can't knit at the same time. I don't want to knit. I constantly want to stare at everything there is to see on screen. And my husband pointed out to me that on a couple of occasions in the last couple of nights, I've literally been sat on the edge of the sofa, something that I never do for anything. I don't tend to stop knitting for anything, and I definitely don't sit on the edge of my seat ever to watch something. This is the first for me. So if you're curious at all to find out how far my madness goes and how weird I am, then watch some Arcane on Netflix and you get the gist of it. Oh, it's just stunning. We've been savoring the last couple of episodes, so we've got 2 episodes to go tonight, and then that's it. So then I'll be full throttle again on the cardigan knitting. Anyway, so I think that was it. Yes, that's everything in terms of knitting and crochet for this week. I'll stop rabbiting and going on about things that have nothing to do with either knitting, crochet, or Layercake and get back to the subject at hand. Let's move on. Let's dive into Layercake and have a look at the new Popover shirt. Enjoy. Hot on the heels of the shirt dress, here is the Popover shirt. We've taken the top part of the shirt dress, left out the little darts here and the ties, took away the pockets, shortened the dress to this kind of length. It's actually just a tiny bit longer than the crofter top. So it's got a similar hemline to the crofter top with the little splits in the side. So you could wear a crofter top over the top and then the shirt would just pop out underneath slightly. So apart from that, it's a very simple shirt with a quarter pocket, as it's called, no closure. If you want to, of course, you can add a pin or add a scarf or shawl around it, or you can wear it with something else over the top that has a higher neckline. You'll see me do that later on in the program. But this is it in white. And just like the shirt dress, it's got a very tall, kind of 4-inch tall closed cuff, which means that you can roll this up even if you just fold it over once and you fold it over about 3 inches like what I'm doing now, then you still won't see the hemline. So it looks perfectly natural, as if it was meant to be worn like this, in order to allow you to pull those sleeves up, roll those sleeves up. Of course, you can roll them up more often than just the once, but this makes for a really nice wide cuff, and that looks great when worn underneath other tops or dresses that you can roll up as well. I'm wearing the white shirt here with a pair of breeches in the long, large size in the color Royalty. So let me add layer cakes to this shirt so you can see how it looks with other items in the collection. And here is a tail smock. A tail smock is a garment where I always say when we sell it to people that it looks great with a white shirt underneath and just a pair of trousers. I'm always talking about a white linen shirt and jeans, but you know, of course, the breeches are fantastic. Now, the other thing that I need to point out is that all the shirts that I'm wearing, all the samples that we made are all size 2s. And the tail smock that I'm wearing over the top is a size 1. The tail smock is slightly wider in the way that it's made, and it's got that bit of elastic on the back so that it pulls taut around the bust and stays in place. But if you think, well, a shirt looks quite kind of blousy and quite roomy underneath the tail smock, that's partially because it's a size 1 tail smock and a size 2 shirt. But as you can see, that works a treat. So as per usual, you can play with your different layer cake sizes and combine them over the top and underneath each other. But I just had to start with that much promoted idea of wearing a shirt underneath a tail smock. As you can see, it just adds a bit of drama to the outfit, whereas at the front it just looks like a little waistcoat. Let me keep adding others. A love tunic in blood orange, and this time it's a size 2, like the shirt, same size. And you can see here that the shirt sleeves are longer than the bracelet length sleeves of the love tunic, of course on purpose so that they can peep out and that you can roll them up. And of course you can see the collar of the shirt as well, and the way we've cut that to fit beautifully underneath this kind of neckline, as well as the other necklines that you'll see further on in the program. The bit that doesn't peep out is that at the back you can see that the hemline of the shirt is just slightly shorter than the hemline of the tunic. There's little in it, so if you want to have an idea of the length of the shirt in the back, then just imagine it, you know, it's just about an inch shorter than the love tunic if you have one. But in the front, that difference in length is a little bit bigger. So there is a slight line from slightly shorter in the front and slightly longer in the back with the shirt. So I'm going to step it up by putting a different color shirt on, but keeping the rest of the outfit still the same. So this is the second color, Spring Greens, another lovely color for spring. And look how different the entire outfit looks just by changing from a white shirt to a colored shirt. So of course you get the blue-green color of the Royalty, and then picking that up with a really fresh green and then contrasting that in a lovely way with the blood orange. So moving on, I'm going to kick it up a bit and show you some other colors to combine with the Spring Greens shirt. Shifting the color balance by, instead of having one garment in the red spectrum, it's now 2 garments in the red spectrum with a pair of high-lows in red cross weave. I have tied the ties that shorten the high-lows up on the inside, so I'm just wearing them full length here, and all of a sudden the shirt is the contrasting color. So let me keep moving and add some more red, but removing the orange. A fun example of wearing red and green together without going Christmassy. Red and green are not always Christmas, depending, of course, on what kind of reds and greens you combine. And of course, this is a very nice, dark, rich, textured red because of the red and black cross weave. And then it's a very fresh and kind of young grass kind of color of green because when you look up close, of course, you see that it's not at all a solid green. It is a green that is achieved by mixing a duck egg blue and chartreuse. So it's a really interesting color in that respect, and therefore not at all Christmassy. But it's not all about colors. The other thing, of course, that I want to show you is the silhouettes of the different layer cakes together, the high-low trousers, full length, and then the shirt worn together with a mini tabard in the same color as the trousers. Let's keep going. Of course, I had to do it like I did with the shirt dress, two on top of each other. I've done the same with the shirts. This is the third feature color of the pre-order of the shirts, and it's called Raspberry Blush. It's a cross weave of red and the beautiful blush pink that we have. And as a result, of course, it kind of tones down the red. It goes really well together with the red cross weave because that is the same color red cross woven with black rather than with the blush color. So it's another way of bringing red and green together, and of course showing off a contrast. So I could go for this white shirt as a contrast underneath here, but I specifically wanted to play with these colors. So of course you can see that the shirts are both exactly the same size all around, so they go really well when worn on top of each other like this. And this of course is a nice way to have snuck in my third color, so I'm going to play some more with this red one now. I've taken the green shirt off, but I've kept this red shirt on just to show you a very simple red outfit and to show you what a strong statement this softer red color makes. So if you love the red spectrum garments, but you don't want everything solid red that you wear, then this raspberry blush is a wonderful way of bringing a red into your wardrobe that really changes things up in the sense that it is still a red, but it's not a solid red. So it'll go with all your other red colors without looking very samey. Talking about samey, I'm going to bring another red color in the form of a love dress that I'm going to put over the top of this. So that's red color number 3, and show you how those look together. I'm showing you here that using a shirt as an underpinning for something like a love dress, which in one of the lighter linens, in this case viscose, which of course is one of the midway linens, may be part of your summer wardrobe. But by combining it here with a shirt, which of course has got the slightly longer sleeves and a pair of trousers, all of a sudden I've wintered up the outfit and have made this an outfit that can be worn on all but maybe the coldest days of the year. So that's one thing to point out. And the other one, of course, is the kind of red that this is, because this is slightly more raspberry red, a slight softer red, but it goes beautifully with the red cross weave as well as with the raspberry blush. Let me bring in another red that's almost not red anymore, but it's definitely in the spectrum. And let's see what that does next to raspberry blush. Here we have lava worn together with raspberry blush. And what I just realized that I haven't mentioned yet is that the 4 shirt colors that I'm showing you in this episode are to inspire you, and they are the featured colors. So as a result, they have got a slightly higher discount. But if you are set on choosing one of the other colors of the mid-weight linen, then that option is open to you with this pre-order. You can choose all the different colors, and that includes black currant, which is back in stock as per now. So you'll be able to see that on the color charts. That's available to order again if you are specifically set on black order and black currant, which was on back order. Black currant is back in stock is the main point. So of course I can put this shirt underneath the play suit to give the play suit the main stage, but of course I can swap it around as well. Let me show you. Same garments, different outfit. Lava play suit, which I forgot to mention, is a size 2 long length. Underneath the shirt in the raspberry blush color, and again gorgeous together. And of course then you can add something like a shawl or you know, some jewelry if you want to jazz it up a little bit. I've got a scarf here that I can show you that I took off one of the mannequins. That'll do, just very simple. Round my neck, tied, put that collar up. You know, of course, the whole outfit is getting pulled together by the colors in the shawl as well as in the garments. So let's keep going. I've got more to show you. Bringing in a tulip dress, which I hadn't shown you yet. Again, with the neckline and the armholes, you can see that that works really well in combination with the shirt. So I can roll up my sleeves again if I want to make it all a little bit lighter and a bit more spring-like. But it also shows you that the raspberry blush is a great color to wear with more classic and neutral colors. This is one of the long dresses. So the lava play suit in this case, of course, works as a wonderful extra layer because it's still cold out, but it also brings back that red spectrum lower down in the outfit, bringing the whole outfit together. Okay, I'm going to move on to the last color of the shirts. Changed only the shirt, so still with the black gingham tulip dress in the size 2 long and my lava play suit. And what I wanted to show you, obviously, the combination of the teal wash shirt, because this is the teal wash color in combination with the black gingham, but also what happens with the balance of colors and the kind of center of gravity of the outfit if the top is going to be lighter in color than the bottom, because of course the teal wash, very light color. This is kind of in between, but then there's a little bit of heaviness in because of the strength of color in the lava. And all of a sudden, the center of gravity of the whole outfit is further down. So I'm going to keep going with the teal wash, but I'm going to bring in some colors that are closer to its spectrum instead of the lava play suit. However, before I do that, let me show you if I just take the dress off and keep the shirt on, then you'll be able to see the dress, I mean the shirt, in combination with lava. This teal wash and lava. You've already seen a shirt together with this play suit, but I just wanted to show you again, teal wash and lava are two colors that are completely different, but they lovely, lovely, lovely together. So, okay, moving on, taking away the lava and bringing in some more tealy colors. Here it comes. Teal wash and royalty. I'm back in the breeches that I showed you before, the size long, large, and now combining the shirt in the teal wash with a smock in the same color. So again, in the uh, royalty color. I still really like the combination of a pair of trousers, any of our trousers, and then a tunic in the same color, and then bringing some contrast with a top like this shirt. And doesn't the teal wash and royalty sing together? I think they're beautiful together. So, of course, royalty has got black currant in it. So I'm just going to swap the trousers, the breeches, for a different color that is closer to the black currant that is in the smock. So this is a pair of breeches in long, large, same size as what I was just wearing, but in the blackcurrant stripe. And of course, that blackcurrant, like I said, one of the colors in royalty. So they look lovely together, but it pulls everything in the direction of the purple rather than keeping it all in teals. And then you get the fresh color of teal wash. It's such a lovely, fresh color And of course, as a nice contrast to the spring greens, which has got chartreuse in it so that it pulls it in a yellow direction. If anything in the yellow spectrum just doesn't work for you, then teal wash is a wonderful alternative of a fresh spring-like color, but not a hint of yellow in it. So we're nearly there. I'm going to grab one of the shirt dresses and see what a shirt dress does over the top of the shirt, because theoretically, of course, it should work a treat. But let's check it. And here it is, the shirt dress. I've stuck with the same color with that black currant stripe because I think it is so lovely, the black currant and the minty color, teal wash next to each other. So I wanted to show that combination closer to my face, like this. And I have tied the dress in the front, one of the options, specifically because I want to show you how easy it is, even when you have like a roomy shirt underneath it, like I have at the moment. It's still very easy to tie the dress. So I don't want you to think that I spend ages in front of the mirror trying to sort out my dress and make sure that all the little pleats are in the right places and whatever. I'm taking a long time because it's tricky to tie a bow on my back, but it's not to organize the dress in any way. So literally tie it, done. With the shirt underneath and the trousers, and then you get that right nice kind of nipped in look, so the whole thing is not too voluminous. And of course we get the shirt popping out. Okay, that's it again for this time. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you again for watching it all the way to the end. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I will try and look out. I'll try not to forget. But if you don't see an answer popping up quickly, then try the chat or send me an email, and I will see you again soon.